Hi everyone, welcome to another interesting tutorial. I'm Dami of 𝐓𝐻𝐂𝐇. Today we'll be learning how to cut this beautiful bustier top with a asymmetric hemline and a structured sleeve. So this tutorial is going to be in two parts. For this one, we are just going to be drafting and cutting on the fabric, and the next part is going to be the sewing process. So if this is what you are looking at to learn, please stick to the end of the tutorial. If you are joining us for the first time today, thank you for joining us, and don't forget to click the subscribe button, turn on your notification bell to get notified anytime we have a new tutorial. For our returning subscribers, thank you for always coming back. If you'd like to join my WhatsApp group, the link will be in the description box. So don't forget to comment if you have any questions, share the video, and also give this video a thumbs up. Thank you for joining us today, and let's get started. For the drafting, I have my pattern papers on fold because of the asymmetric effect we have on the hem of the blouse. So we'll start by measuring out our lines. So we'll draft out the shoulder line. So from the shoulder line out, then go ahead to take all the waist measurement, the bust, and all of that. So we'll start with the chest measurement, the chest line, the bust line, the waistline, the under bust, and the waist. So from the waist now, you are going to be stepping down by 5 inches. That is going to be the hip line. So from that again, you step down by 4 or 5 inches to get the hem line. So from that hem line, the extension is because of the asymmetric effect we have on the waist. After marking the lines out, so you're going to extend each of the lines here like this. So you label each of the line: the chest line, the bust line, the under bust, the waist, so our hip line, and also the hem of the blouse for the asymmetric effect. So on the shoulder measurement now, I'll go ahead to impute my shoulder measurements of 16 divided by 2 on the shoulder line and also on the chest line to connect them together like this. Center front now, I'll go ahead to mark out my bust span of 7 inches divided by 2, that's 3.5 from the bust down to the hem. Impute all of our measurements. My bust divided by 4, 10 inches, which I'm going to take straight down to the waistline. My under bust and the waist are both the same thing, so the difference in the bust and the under bust is what I'll be using as my dart, which is 1.75. On the center front side, by the dart line, I went out by 0.5 and took in the remaining 1.75 on the other side. So I will take down the dart to the hemline, which is 1.75. So the dart is going to be stopping 0.5 before the bust point. So I'll go ahead to draw out my under bust tightening line like this. So on the hip line, I would make my hip divided by 4 plus 1.75 that I use as dart. So whatever I use as your dart is what you are going to be adding to it, and you take it straight from the hip down to the hem of the top. So we determine how deep you want the neckline to be, because the top we are making is an off shoulder top. So I'm using 6.5 from the shoulder line, so I will mark it out like this. The next we are going to be drawing out our armhole from the shoulder. You step down by 1 inch. Whatever you have there, you divide it into 2, step in by 1 inch again. Then you are going to connect the shoulder slants to 3 inches neck waist. Then you connect the armhole curve like this. So once you're able to do this now, then you are going to be on the bust span. You are going to be extending it to the new neckline because of the over bust tightening we are going to be doing here. So the over bust tightening, I'll be doing the tightening of 1.5. So I mark out my 1.5 like this and connect it to the bust line like this. So all of these darts now, we are going to be cutting them out. And also my bust darts of 2 inches, the difference in the front and the back half length. Alright, so this top is an off shoulder or a tube top. So we are going to be blending the neckline. So from the 6.5 now, we are going to be blending it down to the chest line. So just make it a slight curve to connect it to the chest line like this. Once you are done connecting the neckline, then we'll go ahead to cut out our pattern now. So we are going to be cutting out all of the darts, which is going to help us to be able to connect it together to draw out the asymmetric effect we have on the hemline. So I'll cut out the over bust dart also. You make sure that your patterns are together when you are cutting, so that one will not be longer than the other one. So After cutting the bust darts out, we are still going to be taping it together after removing the excess darts we have there. So I'll be using my paper tape to hold both sides together. So this is what the patterns look like. So the next thing we are going to be doing now is to be joining them together from the underbust down to the hem to draw out our asymmetric line. So I'm going to be using a paper tape to hold them together. So the reason for doing this is for the drawing out of the asymmetric line that we have. Some people might decide to just go ahead and use this pattern like this to cut it out on their fabric. Then when they are done joining the front together, they can trim it out. But I prefer doing mine like this so that I can do all the trial and error on my pattern. If you are cutting out any asymmetric effects, make sure that your darts are closed. It is very, very important in order to have all the equal size. After joining it together, this is what we are going to be having. So on each side, on the side front, for the right and the left, because of the asymmetric effect, so you step down by 1.5 inch on both sides. So the right side is the side that is going to be up more, and that line of the left side, you are just carefully going to draw out the line. So just follow as it is in the picture. There's no measurement, so I'm just doing like a freestyle kind of a thing. So on the right side now, it went up above the hip line, so you go connect it to the 1.5 inch that you step down from the hip line on both sides. So just go ahead and just try this one out, and I'm sure you're definitely going to get out the desired shape that you want. So now you can go ahead to cut it out. At this point, if you are yet to subscribe to my channel, please don't forget to click the subscribe button and turn on the notification bell to get notified anytime we drop a new tutorial. And if you want to join my WhatsApp group, the link is going to be in the description box. So don't forget to share this video and give the video a thumbs up. If you have any question, you can drop it in the comment section. Cutting the shape, this is what it's looking like now. So we are going to be putting this one aside now to draft the back body. All right, so for the drafting of our back bodies is going to be starting from the chest line, since that is where the connection is going to be starting from. We don't need anything from the chest line upward. So I'm going to be marking my chest line. I'll place 9 inches, which is my chest line, to measure the bust and also the waist measurement. So from the waist now, like we did for the front, we step down by 5 inches. So I'm also going to be doing the same thing for the back also. So I'll step down by 5 inches. From the 5 inches, I'm going to be adding 1.5 extension that we did for the front. If you remember, the front, we extended it on both sides by 1.5 inches. So I added it to it. Then I'm going to be extending out the lines like this. On the waistline, I'm going to be coming in by 0.75 for the sway back, which I will connect to the chest line and also to the hip line. This is going to be correcting the bulging of the zipper at the back. Then I'll go ahead to measure my hip bust measurement divided by 4, the waist divided by 4. I added 1 inch as the dart allowance, and also my hip measurement divided by 4. Then I'll go ahead to connect all of the lines together. After then, now I marked out the bust span of 3.5 down to the hem. That is where I'm going to be drafting out my dart. So the dart of 1 inch, I'm going to be taking it on both sides of the dart line. That's 0.5 on both sides of the dart line, and it's going to be stopping 5 inches below the waistline, which I'm going to connect together and also connect it to the bust point. So don't forget to always label your patterns in order to avoid confusion. So on the hemline now, I just don't want to leave it straight like this, so I'm going to be drawing out a little bit of the shape so that it will not just be straight on the back. So you can just play around with whatever shape you want on your back. After cutting out now, you can bring the front patterns here, and you are going to be placing both the front side, the side front and the back front together. You see the one I drafted out, that they are both equal on the side. It is very, very important that they are equal. So we're going to go ahead now and start cutting on the fabric. I'll be using a crepe fabric to cut this, and I'll be using a cotton lining. So we'll go ahead now to start the cutting on the fabric. So I'm starting with the front, the center front now. You see, because of the asymmetric, I did not fold my pattern. I spread it out on the right side of the fabric. So I pinned it down and I added 0.5 inch allowance all around the front. So when you are doing, just carefully mark it out to cut out the right measurement. After cutting the center front, I'll place the side front also on the fabric. Then I'm going to be adding 0.5 allowance on the hem, and also on the side I'm going to be using to join to the center front. On the side seam, I'm going to be adding 1 inch allowance because I'm going to be doing an inseam, so I really don't need much allowance on the side. So just carefully cut it out, and I'll also do the same thing for the other side of the front pattern. For the back body seams, what we have on both sides are the same, so I put my fabric on fold. Then on the side back also, I added 1 inch allowance for the side seam joining, and for other parts I added 0.5 inch allowance. So once we are done cutting this one, you make sure that you notch the side that we are going to be joining to the other side of the back. For the center back also, I placed it on fold on the pattern paper. So on the center back for the zip, is going to be having a zip, so I added 1 inch for my zipper allowance, and all over the other sides I added 0.5 inch allowance. And make sure, don't forget to notch that zipper area so that you not be the one to join. There is no room for mistake, so please make sure you notch your patterns. After cutting on the fabric now, I'll be using the same thing to cut it out on the lining. So this tutorial here is just going to be the cutting part. In our next tutorial, I'm going to be showing you step-by-step detailed tutorial on how to join each of these pieces together. So thank you for joining us, and we'll see you in the next class.